Hello, so today we're starting one of our self-healing technique program, part of the program, and it's HeartMath. And this is one of my favorite, and it's something that you probably will use for the rest of your life. And I want to just read this quote: "Where there is love, there is life." Mahatma Gandhi. And we can extrapolate that the more love, the more life force you have. And that's what we're going to be doing today, is increasing our love, our life force, and helping to balance our physiology, our hormone, our nervous system. That is going to help really every aspect of your life, both inside and outside. So let's get started. So you probably have noticed and felt this in your own life, that the world is changing rapidly. It's expanding and it's changing. And it's often very hard to keep up, and it is easy to start feeling exhausted or overwhelmed because we are not acclimated to the level of change that's taking place. And more people, women, are feeling lonely, separated from themselves and others. And if you're feeling some of this, I want you to know that you're not alone. And this technique that we're going to learn today is going to help with that. So let's start out going over a little information. And we all know that the heart is the organ that circulates blood around the body. But that's not all it does. And scientists have actually determined that our heart is also an information processing center. There are some 40,000 sensory nerves that are found in a part of our heart that actually processes, and is unlike your thinking head brain. It actually helps us take in and make decisions without judgment, using a different part of our consciousness, I guess you would say. And it's a very strong source of electricity, not just the blood, but it also produces an electrical charge, magnetic field that can be measured up to 3 feet from our body, which is pretty amazing. And this magnetic field, carries information about our emotional states with our heart antenna, so to speak, that really helps us read other people's emotions because of the way this field extends from our body. So we broadcast that negative and positive emotional states, and that influences others in our environment. So you'll notice that if someone is really angry, that you feel it. I mean, you may not completely absorb it, and if you're a really centered person, it may not affect you that deeply. But if you're living in an environment, for instance, I used to work in the addiction field, and there's a lot of anger and upset and discord. It gets broadcast, and the whole family feels it. The whole family absorbs that energy. So when we broadcast and choose to broadcast positive emotions, it also has an effect on creating more harmony and more positive energy and love. And we can influence the environment around us by doing that. So how do we know what we are broadcasting? One of the ways that they measure this is called heart coherence, and they use HRV, which is heart rate variability, is a way that we can measure what we're feeling inside and what we're projecting into our environment. So on the top one here, you can see, let me put my laser. All right, so the top one here, the incoherence, we can see a difference where there's a real choppy up and down pattern that looks much different than the pattern on the bottom. Up here, this is someone who is experiencing a lot of frustration, anxiety, worry, irritation, those kind of emotions. And that was the heart rate, how it measured on this tool. The bottom one was when someone was feeling positive emotions, appreciation, love, caring, and you can see how regular and smooth, so there are a couple of different things you're looking at that can be measured that when you're in coherence. And that is when you also have optimal performance, like in athletics, or when you're able to think more clearly, when you're feeling good. That is the way your heart will show. So I won't talk about it too much on this one because that goes into the next part of our program, but there is a trainer that you can get attached to your phone, and you attach it close to your heart, and it can actually measure this and give you a reading and a graph for your own heart rate called the Inner Balance Trainer, and that is very helpful. Today we're going to do that. We're going to see how we can process and do HeartMath without the trainer, but the trainer does help for the long term. All right, next slide. So in recent years, neuroscientists made an exciting discovery, and like I mentioned earlier, they found that you actually have this independent nervous system where the heart, so not only is the heart taking in information, it's also sending signals to the brain. So this coherence actually manifests not only as this field around you, but it also is sending signals to the brain and back again. So these signals get sent to the amygdala, which is our emotional processing center. It's one of the prehistoric parts of our brain, and to the thalamus, which then helps to synchronize what we're feeling into our cortex that affects our decision making and the action that we take on those emotions. So the brain function is critically dependent on the information from your heart. So what you're feeling here, you're sending here. Got it? So HRV is an important measurement for assessing the health of your autonomic nervous system, which controls these automatic functionings that include your breathing, your hormonal balance, your digestion, and many more different types of things that take place internally in our body. And it even reflects how well we're aging. So when we want to reverse our age, we want to also be in heart rate coherence. And we can influence the system through our heart, and that's really huge. So one of the reasons that I incorporate HeartMath especially in here is because they've been able to test it with testing different hormones and our hormonal balance, and that is just like so critical in menopause, right? So the two hormones that are pretty directly affected by the heart coherence is oxytocin, for one, which is a hormone produced by our brain, and it has a very strong effect on stress and anxiety in terms of reducing stress and anxiety. It reduces your blood pressure, your cortisol levels, and decreases anxiety levels by suppressing fear responses in the central amygdala. So a very profound effect there. And so it's very helpful with increasing your oxytocin with people that have PTSD and anxiety from menopause. It's just like a drug, really, and you can tell a difference if your oxytocin levels are high. And I'll just explain to you one time, I know what I found out was that it's very strong during a parent-child bonding, like during breastfeeding. And I would feel like I was on drugs when I was breastfeeding my daughter because my oxytocin levels were going off the chart. And I just felt like the world was wonderful, everything was great. And that's when you're kind of tapping into that right brain, and you know that you're increasing those feel-good chemicals. So I was doing HeartMath without really knowing I was doing HeartMath. But it also improves the social interaction. So the parent-infant bonding is one of the things. Also helps in romantic and attachment. That's why we have rose-colored glasses, so to speak, when we meet someone that we really are attracted to and we have a good interaction with. It increases our oxytocin. And so if we can increase that on our own, we can improve trust between people, close feeling, and even in business and work relationships, and just in general. They even found when they did a test that people that were given oxytocin donated 21% more of their money to a stranger than those given a placebo. That's pretty interesting. I thought that was an interesting study that included that in here. It also helps to increase your pain threshold, so you're going to feel less pain when your oxytocin levels are higher. And that's also important in menopause and increases your healing response. So all of those are very, very critical. And so I did mention that it does decrease cortisol, and cortisol is a steroid hormone that helps the body respond to stress and danger, and it's produced by the adrenal glands. And even if the stress happened 5 years ago, if you start thinking about it, you reproduce it and you increase your cortisol levels. And sometimes it's very hard to get them lower, especially in menopause. And cortisol and estrogen have a very complex relationship. When you have high cortisol levels, when you're not supposed to have them, it actually lowers your estrogen level, which can then lead to significant hormonal imbalances and affect your menstrual cycle, hair loss, pain during sex, vaginal dryness, weight gain, night sweats, skin tags, acne, a whole host of things that are affected by high cortisol that is lowering your estrogen. And if you give estrogen on top of that, then it actually increases the cortisol even more, and your estrogen can then, I don't know, it's a complex relationship, but it also affects your thyroid hormone. And this is one of the things that can potentially lead to hypothyroidism and Hashimoto's thyroiditis because of this imbalance in cortisol and estrogen, and then having too much estrogen in your system, but it's not actually functioning properly, if that makes any sense. All right, so one of the ways that this HeartMath works is that it will help to balance these out. And there are also supplements that I think are really important here that helped in the whole physiological balance here. All right, next slide. All right, so now we're actually going to do some practice, and I want you to be sitting in a comfortable chair. You can darken the room so that you don't have a lot of light in your face. I want you to be comfortable and hopefully in a quiet place but while we start this practice. So we're going to do the first couple of steps in HeartMath without the trainer so that you can get a feel for how this works. So just close your eyes, and we're going to start out with a progressive relaxation of the whole body, doing some belly breathing. That will get us into the right frame of mind to start with the heart program. So I want you to take a deep breath through your abdomen, bring it up through your chest and up to the top of your head. Deep breath, and then breathe out. Breathe all the way out your chest and feel your belly go in towards your spine as you exhale. Breathe in through your belly, up through your chest, up through the top of your head. Hold it for a second and then breathe out. You're just going to slow your breath down and breathe deep. Breathe out all the way out through your chest and belly towards your spine. Okay, now we're going to start relaxing from the top of our head all the way down. I want you to focus with your eyes closed. You're going to keep your breath, and you're going to feel your skull and the top of your neck and your face And as you're breathing, I want you to relax all the muscles in your face. Just let them relax. Release any tension in your upper neck and your spine. Breathe out. Let it all go. Any kind of feeling of stress. And then on the next breath, I want you to start focusing on the lower neck, in the back and the front. And anytime you feel any tension, I want you to kind of take note of it, but then release it best you can. And especially if you find a place that feels tension or discomfort that you didn't even know was there. Breathe out. Okay, now I want you to feel your shoulders, the front and back. Relax. Relax them, breathing deep, your slow, deep breaths. Breathe in to the top of your head and breathe out. And now I want you to start feeling in your abdomen and your back, all the muscles relaxing. Your feet are flat on the floor. Your whole upper torso and your head, all the muscles are relaxing. Let go of all the tension in your shoulders. We hold a lot there. On the next breath, I want you to feel it around your hips and your lower abdomen, upper legs, all the tension released. Your focus is on those areas and releasing all tension. And on your next breath, you're going to feel your calves and your feet and release any tension in your back of your calves and your front of your legs, your feet, the top of the foot, the bottom of the foot. Everything is all relaxed. And then just do a quick scan from the top of your head all the way down, relaxing and releasing all the muscles as your breath is slow and you're still belly breathing. Okay, now if you don't have a hand on your heart, I want you to actually put both hands on your heart, and I want you to start breathing through your heart. And kind of envision a white light coming through your heart and leaving through your heart. And as you're feeling that, seeing that white light and feeling the relaxation in your body, I want you to focus on someone you love. It could be someone from the present or the past, or it can even be a pet. Focus on that object and feel that love in your heart as you breathe, and feel it as a white light expanding through your heart area. You feel that love for that person or pet. And just let your whole body bathe in that white light, bathe in that love that you're feeling for that person or that pet. And the dominant feeling, you're relaxed. And you feel that breathing through your heart, and you feel that love. And feel that heart energy, feel that love going up to your brain and back again, and just communicating that feeling of love. And seeing that image of that person, or that they're, as if they were right here. You feel that positive energy, that love exchange between you, the person or that animal, that pet. Keep breathing. And now let that feeling of love expand, not only from your heart and your brain, but now it's all over the outside. You see that white light, and that love is, you're breathing it out all around you. Breathing it in and breathing it out in all directions. Breathing it in and out. And it feels so good to be bathed in that love. It's something you want to hold on to. Okay, now I want you to you can release your hands and just be bathing in that white light and that love. Come back to your center. You can open your eyes. All right, so I just want you to take a minute to kind of assess how you're feeling, if you're more relaxed, more energetic, more, what is it that you're feeling? Is it some, most people feel much calmer afterwards. And there is a lot of uses for us doing those couple of steps. Are very simple and very easy to do. All right, let's go to the next slide. So there's a lot of reasons and times that we can use this. It's not just something that you can, a lot of people think when they meditate, they just have to go to a special place. They have to be in their meditation chair. Everything has to be perfect. They got to light the candle, whatever it is. This is something you can practice at any time when you need it. So it will create more balance if you're feeling out of balance, something happened and you're kind of, oh God, I need to get centered. So you can use this heart lock in technique then. It create more calm after, like I said, it's any kind of incident, like in traffic where you're, of course, if you're doing it in traffic, keep your eyes open. but it definitely is something you can use anywhere. If you're in a discordant atmosphere, like I mentioned earlier, you're in a family situation where things are not going well, or you need to get everyone to calm down, you can even instruct them in doing this little breathing thing and help everybody calm down before you have an important conversation or phone call. reducing feelings of anger, I do. One of the things I recommend is doing, these few steps. If you make some assumptions and in a relationship, you come home and things are not right and you get angry and maybe you had a bad day and this thing set off, go into a room for a minute. It's just like counting to 10 and focus on this and see how powerful it can be and how people will relate to you differently when you come from because they'll sense that magnetic field. It really is kind of amazing, and that's going to be part of the exercises that we'll do after this class. So I did want to mention, the inner balance. If this is not something that you have yet, that I do find that it is helpful, that because it helps you maintain and amplify the effectiveness of that and help you get to the next level of the HeartMath program. And with continued use, it really can transform your basic nature. If you have a lot of anger, if you have had brain fog, difficulty thinking, effects of PTSD, also enhancing your intuition, like really increases your ability to. So one of the things we're going to teach in another part of the program is increasing your intuition, your psychic abilities, your imagination. All of those things kind of go together. And I know a lot of people say, well, I'm not really able to visualize. And I've noticed that as I have been doing these kinds of using these self-healing tools, that my imagination, my ability to vision is so much stronger. And I know that it's because it's like a muscle, that more you use it, that you amplify the effectiveness and you are able to do things that you found that you weren't able to do before. So let me just go over again and kind of put it all together in summary. What will this do for me? It will improve your hormonal balance on the HPA axis. HPA, your hypothalamus, your pituitary, your adrenal, all essential hormonal organs that control not only menopause, but really everything, all the hormones in our body. And our hormone system and our nervous system are directly connected, and they actually control each other. So they're both essential for our ability to create that balance. And there is a carryover effect. It's just not right now that you feel better. It will carry over into your day and into the next day as you start doing this more and more. It helps you regulate your emotions. And that is also something that it's very fluctuating sometimes in menopause, the irritability, the mood swings. So also very helpful for people that have some forms of mental illness where that is as something that they've had difficulty with, to help them balance their brain and their chemistry. It is beneficial for your overall health and well-being, and it helps the anti-aging process. So it's going to be part of the whole process of reversing your biological age. You can't reduce your chronological age because you were born at a certain time. It also helps to enhance performance. They have found that like on testing, on athletic performance, that people actually do better when they're in heart coherence, which is kind of interesting. Enhance your spiritual practice. So a lot of times I'll use this and get my heart coherence in balance before I actually do get into a meditation state. And I find that it happens much more quickly because of doing this preparation. It also, as I mentioned a minute ago, increases your intuitive abilities. So that's very interesting also, because a lot of people think, well, I don't have a lot of intuition. Well, this is a way that you can build that and really increase that. And then relieving anxiety, as we mentioned, with PTSD and all kinds of different traumas. Even if you weren't diagnosed with PTSD per se, there are the effect of negative incidents in your life that seem to resurface during menopause and increase anxiety, and these kind of tools can really help with that. So if you are seeing this intro course and you're not already part of our program, I just want to give you a brief understanding of that we relieve, renew, and reignite through our spiritual menopause anti-aging program. And this HeartMath is just one part, one of the self-healing tools that we teach. And it also involves comprehensive hormonal testing and balancing supplements, self-healing tools that you can use forever, including HeartMath, and various other ones, such as chakra balancing, EFT, meditation, that kind of thing. Relationship and life coaching. We do a complete customized lifestyle program of diet, exercise, breathing, etc. Even menus if it's something that you need, you have some kind of specific diet issues. Spiritual development training, anti-aging training and support, and it is 12 self-paced modules, of which these self-healing tools are part of that, with 1 year of coaching support to get you through from being very symptomatic to really finding new purpose and passion in your life. Really an exciting program, one of a kind. All right, next slide. If you're not already in the class, sign up with our school.com/menopause anti-aging, and you get a promo code to get into our program at a discount. If you're in the class and seeing this, then the next part will be doing some exercises to get you understanding how this works in your life a little bit more and do some experiential work. So we'll see you in the next class.